Why are you crying, little shit? I watched all the videos on YouTube. Ah, bullshit. Now I will tell you a good bedtime story. I will just take a chair. This was a time when I didn't even know which side to approach the computer from. Once upon a time there was a small browser, but everyone f***ing hated him. But here it should be said that he was still that kind of shit. But do you think this stopped the developers? These bastards mocked us as best they could. They update something there. And then you decide to surf the internet. In this moment you already going crazy. Sites are not displayed correctly. Interface is not made for anyone. Here I wanted to open a can of beer, bah! And it exploded in my hands. Beer here, beer everywhere. It even got into my eyes and then dripped off my head. Do you think I ran a rag to wash the floors? I didn't throw away my beer, and I started licking it off quickly. The computer froze. Keyboard has stopped working. You can't break me, bitch. It was necessary to break through it. All his life he was called shit, but one day he pulled himself together, wiped his snot, changed his pants and showed everyone how to load websites. Once upon a time there was a browser, and in his younger years, and this was in the era of Windows 95, he was not so bad, but then everything was different. Websites were made like tables, there was no YouTube, and the only animations of websites were GIFs. And as you guessed, this era is long gone. Windows XP was already standing in the yard. As the author of Witcher once wrote, something ends, something begins. One era gives way to another, and for unknown reasons, the creator of our browser actually went on a drinking bunch and gave up on everything, including Virtual Pinocchio. You're on XP. You turn on the built-in browser, but it displays sites incorrectly. Some don't load at all, just couldn't handle the download. Against the background of Opera, Mozilla and Chrome, our guy was stupidly sliding down. And then you realize that the browser is terribly inconvenient and big like a pile of shit. They are really inconvenient to use and you don't want to deal with him anymore. It turned out that I was not the only one. Already in those years everyone began to call this browser crap. That's what they said. Fuck, what's the crap? And me too. How internet users see normal browser work. And how Explorer really worked. Hackers sitting on a benches said that there was nothing worse than it, and that Internet Explorer is designed to download Google Chrome, and so it was. But time passed and the pirate era of Windows XP was coming to the end. During this amazing time, most of us downloaded images of the beast with a bunch of unnecessary junk drivers and viruses. Personally for me, the operation system lasted for a maximum of half a year, and then viruses devoured all the files altogether, except Justin Bieber songs. People didn't want to buy license, they were stuck on a cracked Windows. It often slowed down, many functions didn't work, and users said the Windows was buggy. It was time to switch to Linux, but they didn't last long there either. Linux punished us all, making it clear how ideal even the most buggy Windows was. One day Bill Gates decided to sit with friends in the garage. They gathered to drink beer, play cards and chat about life. And while handing out the cards, Gates asked his friends, is it true that his browser Internet Explorer is it still crap? At this moment some grandfather was passing by the garage on a bicycle and also heard this conversation. One day the dark streak ends and a bright future begins. This is how the world meets the era of Windows 7. I will say for myself, it was something. Incredibly beautiful operation system, famous glass design style. There seemed to be no glitches at all. Everything worked perfectly. So many years have passed and I still remember this time as one of the brightest and most positive in the history of Windows. Internet Explorer dominance? What am I saying? What kind of dominance? Perhaps in digital gateways, and that's not a fact. In the era of Windows 7, Internet Explorer has finally lost its face. Everyone simply had disk with programs installers. I had one like that too. It had either Google Chrome or Opera. At this point, even the native Windows Media Player faded into the background, and the great paint became a joke. Do you want to go back to Windows again? Or cut you the f out? Microsoft decided that Windows needed a good built-in browser. We won't fix anything, so just change the name, logo, everything will be fine. Our team is confident that users will like it. And in 12.15, Microsoft turned attention to its unlucky son. With the first version of Windows 10, the world saw the legendary Microsoft Edge browser. A new browser, but everyone knew that this was an attempt to revive Explorer. Meanwhile, Windows 10 was appreciated by everyone. It's perfect. Unlike the bad Windows 8, the start menu was returned, and Microsoft added a lot of things. Now, you don't need to download drivers. The system itself will find and install them. Added OneDrive Cloud. Millions of people do not understand this program and dream of deleting it, but OneDrive is so cool that it can store any files, even files from the desktop and all your saves from download folder. And this is not all that is new. And then it turned out so interesting that after trying of a new browser, users thought that it would also be a piece of cake, and bam! They stepped where they usually step. This is what always happens when somebody sell you something bad, but as if it were new. Even worse, Microsoft decided to force the new browser on everyone. Let them get used to it. You save a web page on your desktop, 2 clicks on it, and Microsoft Edge immediately picks it up. And now you are sitting not in one browser, but in 2 browsers at once. Then Microsoft told us about the legendary search in Windows 10. You're looking for something in it, but it turns out that you could look for something directly in search engine in this search. Guess which one? Right, Google. Stupid jerk even thought it's not the 1st of April. It was such an convenient solution that you feel like a fool and can't understand why you would Googling in Bing directly into the Windows 10 search field. But fools cannot understand the thoughts of geniuses. The only thought that often came to me was that Microsoft simply supported the image of the browser, guided by the slogan, "Ugly is in our blood." There is a black mark in the family, but we are the family. I have never had anything like this before, as I hated a computer app. But here I made an exception. I hated the first 8 so much that even my favorite game couldn't help me calm my nerves. We remember that we have you, and since we can't come up with anything better anyway, you have to beat Google Chrome. Look. We don't know how to make browsers and you don't know how to open websites, so we put Google panties on you and boxing gloves. Come on, raise your hands. You are some f***ing little perverts. What's next? Will you take my app store for yourself? Why not? The more stores the better. I only ask you one thing. Help not only with advice and cowards. Let him punch you in the face too. This is Explorer. He is like White Mike Tyson. Well, yes, this is our son. Look, this is Google Chrome. He and all the browsers in the world all your life dunk your face into shit. What will you do? I don't know. What do you mean I don't know? Someone knows how to work normally all their life, but you don't. What needs to be done? Well done, my son. The white streak in Edge's life began when Microsoft itself recognized him as a such of piece of crap and simply rolled him over to the free Chromium engine, just making it another clone of Google Chrome. Only after this did he make his second legendary comeback. Engine has been changed, an icon, design, added features. And for the first time, the entire history of Internet Explorer among internet statistics, the new Edge has become a popular browser. Every year, little by little, the share of Chrome and Mozilla is falling, while the percentage of a new Internet Explorer among browsers is growing. And why all? But because Windows users sooner or later ask the questions, why do we need Google Chrome when it's already on Windows? Just call it differently, Microsoft Edge. And this is such an amazing success story that it has no equal. The one who was last from the beginning and first from the end all his life ended up giving browser punches to all his colleagues. And I'm talking about Microsoft Explorer, aka Microsoft Edge. There is simply no more legendary browser. 35-year-old old man like me will agree with this. And if today suddenly someone asks me, also no one needs to me at all, what I think about Microsoft Edge, then I would answer that it's like T-1000 Terminator giving fatherly slaps to everyone. And all because today in 24-year artificial intelligence was introduced into it. They pushed it in an app store. But now, even two games and programs were uploaded. And in fact, if you just have Microsoft Edge on your computer, you don't need another browser. But for me personally, you might have noticed the Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox browsers, but as one old detective says, that's a completely different story.